Report. We're going to have a lit show today. Let's go ahead and make sure we bring out the host and the guest of the hour, rather. Mr. Kenyatta Griggs in the building. Let's go ahead and get him. Hip-hop motivator. Let's get it. Give him some background music so he can feel good when he put the mic on. And the motherfucking headphones.
What's going on, man? Always good to see you, my friend.
Already, you already know what it is.
You know, Jay, I gotta say one thing to you, man.
Talk to me.
Me and you gonna take phase if you don't introduce DJ E.
DJ E in the
Some
building.
love, baby.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
love,
Wait a minute.
baby.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Where would we be
You know
without
what?
DJ
I'm
E?
so sorry about that, bro. That literally was not intentional. I was literally not paying attention to the.
It's all good. It's all right.
E.
You kind of start talking crazy about the Lakers, bro. I don't like how you opened up with the Lakers like that. Well, I'm gonna chill, but yeah, good to see y'all,
It's
man.
all
They
good,
always
man.
forget about the DJ.
In case you guys didn't know, DJ E is definitely on the board right now, hitting you guys, killing you with the sound effects, making sure the show transitions well. Got the missus in the building, Miss Tick in the building. Go ahead and give her a round of applause. She's definitely here, making sure the production shit is going on. And we got a special guest, a family member. She just snuck her little ass up in here, and I don't know where the hell she came from, but I love her to death. Give it up for Emily. She's in the building. Let's go ahead and get to it. Kenyatta, you ready for this?
What's good, man? Yes, I am.
Already,
Let's do it.
man. Thank you so much for coming through, man. First of all,
Anytime.
it's
Anytime.
been a whole year since we've been on the air. And I wanted to give the people who aren't familiar with our show, who maybe just tuned in this week,
Right.
a little bit of background in where we started.
Okay.
Now, this idea and this dream came about with just working with people, trying to find an opportunity, looking for someone to give me an opportunity to work on the radio. And I've been doing broadcast journalism for literally almost about 9 years now, going into next year.
Okay.
The radio opportunities didn't start to open up until literally 3 years ago in the city of Anaheim. So those who aren't familiar with Anaheim, California, it's literally a city where Disneyland, if you've ever been there, that's where the city is located. I worked at a station called KTST-FM. Shout out to Karen Marine if you're watching and listening right now. Thank you so much for the opportunity. But it got to a point, Kenyatta, where I started to ask myself, why am I not happy the way I felt like I should be happy?
Interesting.
And then I thought about it, and I said, now that I've accumulated this experience, now it's time to go out on my own and venture off,
Right.
just to see what'll happen.
Absolutely.
And so I got an opportunity to be a co-host on Dash Radio, and that went well to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And then something clicked. You see, I remembered why I actually went to that radio station at KTST-FM. And it was actually for an interview. Because I was going to promote the Ticker Report, because I was just going to do a little podcast in my garage. The Ticker Report. And once I got the experience at KTST-FM, on air, I was literally asked during the interview, do you want to co-host on my show? And I said, sure. Why not? All I ever wanted was an opportunity.
Yeah.
And so once I got the opportunity and the experience and learning the events and how to carry my voice on air and how to chime in and when not and how to run my segment, the Ticker Report, on that show, MDK Radio, guys, I found a home and accelerated and was greeted with open arms by Kevin Nash, the owner of Accelerated Radio, also host on 102.3 KJLH.
Shout out to Nash. Man.
And
Appreciate you, my
we
friend.
want to, first of all, before we go into this, thank you so much. Let's give Kev a round of applause. Without you, a lot of us wouldn't be here right now, and we sincerely appreciate you providing us with the opportunity, especially as black males trying to come up in this industry. It's so difficult to find a job, an opportunity. And Kenyatta, this is the reason why you stuck out to me so much. Pause. My whole thing about it was I wanted to find somebody. First of all, I grew up without a dad, right?
Okay.
And I finally got over that whole phase of, oh, why don't I have a mentor? Why don't I have someone that can lead me into success where I need to go? And God answered that question for me. It was really clear. You have to learn before you get to that point. You have to be ready for these blessings when they come upon you. And reading and listening to Culture Vultures inspired me heavily, especially Chapter 1.
Okay.
Because what Chapter 1 told me was that Kenyatta was just like me at one time in his life.
Absolutely.
He was a man that was trying to find his passion, and in the transition of things, you created your own opportunities, cutting hair.
Right.
You then became a celebrity barber.
Yes.
You then, through that celebrity barber opportunity, you then encountered certain people and built certain relationships.
Absolutely.
You remained humble.
Yeah.
And you always made sure that you gave back.
Yes.
And I truly believe that that's what Culture Vultures is about. But we're going to make sure that you give us a description on what you was thinking, literally when Culture Vultures came about.
Right.
Kenyatta, go ahead and introduce yourself and let these people know who the hell you are.
Well, I'm the vessel known as Kenyatta Griggs, author of Culture Vultures, the book, CEO of Hip Hop Motivation first, as far as business. And what I'm into is occult knowledge for our people and giving our people a better understanding of how to lead their lives no matter where they're at. And so Hip Hop Motivation is a self-help company from a hip hop perspective.
Word.
So I've been friends with Damon Dash for over 15 years. I would have to say like over 17, maybe 18 years now.
Word.
And I was around the whole Rockefeller crew, just watching things, paying attention to the interactions. But the people that stood out to me the most, besides of course Jay, was Damon Biggs.
Word.
But mainly Dame, because Dame is more vocal than all of them, including Jay. And so I would just, after I would cut their hair, I would fall back and listen to these interactions and these conversations. And for years, going back to the barbershop after leaving Dame and listening to these conversations, I would tell my boys at the shop on Crenshaw about what I just heard. And, you know, it really resonated with me because I was already sort of living that life.
Amen.
As far as business goes,
Word.
you know, so, and it's just really having principles, understanding integrity. The most important thing was just defining your intention. You
Yes.
know, the intention of Rockefeller was to put out music independently, make a certain amount of money, have fun, and that's what they did. Regardless if they broke up or not, they did their thing. And so I wanted to capture
with an iron fist.
Absolutely.
Word.
And it took the Phil Jackson mentality of Damon Dash to get them to the chip.
Word.
Already.
Because coaching, as we all know, is the most important besides athleticism, even in the game of footballs, you know, basketball, any sport. You got to have a great coach.
Yes,
and
sir.
so it goes back to what you say about mentorship. You know, when you pick a coach and you choose someone that is going to give you great plays to run, you also have to make sure that that person understands the dynamics of what they're telling you. And so if they can't explain it to an 8-year-old, it's unexplainable.
Sure.
So Dame was very like unfiltered and open with his information and
Just
giving
the way
knowledge.
we like it. Just the
And
way
that's
we like
what I'm about because, you know, I come from the barbershop life, and barbershop is not a private place of conversations. It's
Yeah.
like where we talk about
Shit goes
anything.
down.
Yeah. And it's not even, you know, we don't, it's uncensored unless it's an elder or babies around.
it. Totally.
Other than that, I mean, we go in.
Yeah.
So that was my idea for putting the book together, but it started off with me doing a project with him called, through my project Thinking Ball Out, and I recorded him for a chapter called The Secret to Ballin', which turned out to be a movie later on. We'll get into that. And I recorded him. I recorded 3-6 Mafia for that.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, because 3-6 Mafia, the story of Hustle and Flow is their story. They sold out the trunk, just like Too Short, Master P, et cetera, et cetera. We know those stories. And so I interviewed them in depth about how they reached success, and it was great. The only problem was they sent me to a lawyer to get clearance for the interview I wanted to use. You know, those are my boys, but I was up and I'm like, yo, I just want to put it on my audio book.
That's it.
And give information to people that need this.
Word.
They were okay with it, but the lawyers became a little tricky, and I never told Paul or Juicy that. I just kind of left it alone.
To this day.
Yeah, and I asked Dane.
We dropped the bomb on y'all, just so y'all know. Drop the bomb on you.
Word, yeah.
That's it.
And that's still my family, man. I love Paul, love Juicy.
Word.
Project Pat is a real homeboy.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? They good dudes, man. Like, you know, I met Pimp C through them. It was
Word.
like
Damn.
right before he passed. And
Damn. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Pimp. You already know,
Yeah.
man.
baby.
That was a
So-
good dude right there.
Pocket full of stones, baby.
Absolutely. So when I asked Dane, he just said, "Come on," and so I did the interview. While the chefs were in the kitchen, if you ever hear the interview, you hear like a lot of confusion. In the background.
I know what you're talking about on YouTube. It's up.
Yeah, and so he signed. I said, "Well, can I use it?" And gave him the release. He signed it. He was like, "Yeah, of course." You know, like I ain't tripping off that. You know what I'm saying? And I just did it, put it out, and that was like my magnum opus project that really launched hip hop motivation.
Word.
And we'll get into that story whenever you're ready for it.
So the ticker report